The Niners are in a position to contend for championships. Where are the Giants at? They're not in a position to contend for championships. They're not even in contention to contend for playoff spots right now at the moment.
You know,
we're trying to find players, Shasky.
So it's so funny to me. Are the San Diego Padres trying to win now?
They're trying to win.
Okay.
I think so.
All right, yeah.
By the way, the Red Sox just acquired James Paxton in a trade with the L.A. Dodgers.
Who was
he got DFA'd.
Yeah. Interesting. So we're establishing the Padres are trying to win. The stakes are high. Payroll's significant.
The stakes are high.
They've got a lot of guys in their prime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They had a kid. I'm not even going to say his name because most people aren't even going to know who he is. He was 20 years old. And they said, we're going to play him in center field to start the year. And he went through his first 20 at-bats, and he was batting like 200. He did not look good, okay? And in July, he's been batting like 227. But they've ridden this out with the 21-year-old. His name's Jackson Merrill. And they're letting him play every single day.
I thought you were going Jackson Chirino in Milwaukee.
No, but you can go. There's a lot of teams.
Yeah.
San Diego has said, you know what? We think you're a valuable piece to our future. And we're going to have to live with the ups and the downs of playing you every single day, even though the stakes are high. Because we think when it's all said and done, you'll be better for it and the team will be better for it. I look at Luis Matos, and he was kind of towing around this. Would I rather see Luis Matos get 2 months at the big league at the expense of Conforto and Yaz? Yes. And if Matos stinks and he's no good, okay then. Well, now I don't have to go back to that.
What was a tweet I had the other day? He's so lost at the plate. Just play the kid. Like, look, we just, you're platooning him. He doesn't know when he's going to play. That's the worst thing that can happen for a young player, especially in baseball and basketball. When they're not playing, they get lost. We've seen it right here in this market the last 3 years with Kuminga, Moody, Wiseman, and whatnot. When you don't play these guys, they start to wander. And they don't get consistent minutes, and they don't become consistent players. And that's where we're at with Luis Matos right now.
So I just keep coming back to, they've boxed themselves in to this weird, like, we're trying to win, so you have to play the veterans, and, like, you give zero tolerance to any of the young players struggling when it's the veterans who stink, and you're giving them way too long of a leash. Like, the guy that played yesterday has 75 career at-bats scattered over 5 seasons.
Derek Hill. You bring in Derek Hill in one of the most important games of the season. You bring in this guy, Derek Hill, in off the street. We all play fantasy baseball. We all follow baseball. I had no idea who Derek Hill was. I never heard of him. I never heard of the guy.
Fans didn't even know who he was.
I think Fleming said it best. It was just like, it's like where we were 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like we're just bringing guys in. It's like the Giants are, like I think Farhan said before last year, we've reached a point where we don't need to go and sign random guys off the street. And then a week later, he signs Matt Beattie, in which obviously that you recall that kind of Fleming, Shasky, and I. But here we are. It's year 6, and you're making the moves that you were making in year 2. Like this organization is we're not even like stalling anymore. We're going backwards with this team.
We have been going backwards. And you bring in these guys, Derek Hill, and then you get Greg Johnson on podcast saying, the fans weren't really receptive to all the platooning. And then what do you do in 2024? You're platooning even more. You're platooning at first base. You're platooning at right field. You're platooned in center. You're platooned in left. You're platooned at second base. Now you're platooning at shortstop. We're the San Francisco platoons again. Just all of a sudden, after talking about not platooning, we're platooning again. So what is the direction? Where are we going here?
Here's the direction. The direction is that I have zero feel for young players. I don't know what position they play. I have zero faith in them. And unless they completely succeed at every level with no drop-off for weeks on end, and I don't have an alternative, I will always resort back to mediocre veterans. That's the plan.
I guess so.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. But then maybe
if
I'll go.
Matos had the same numbers, which it's crazy, he kind of does, as Conforto and Yaz, you're still sticking with Conforto and Yaz. Why?
Well,
why? You owe nothing to Yaz. Whatever. He's been here like 6-7 years. You owe nothing to Michael Conforto.
You know, I took a step back on going so hard on the Giants because I went hard on the Giants last year. I told fans don't spend a dime. And, I ran into Larry Derrick a few times, and he's never brought it up to me. But they knew. They knew the point I was going. I did the MCN for the All-Star Game announcement, Joe Lacob and them, and Larry Bear was there. And it was the first day of the all-season. It's like, Larry, big day for you. All-season starts. He goes, I know you're watching. That's what he told me, because I know you're watching. And I respect it. It's like, look, I hear from you. I hear the noise coming from the morning roast about the Giants and how you guys want us to be better. You guys are holding us accountable, because that's our job. We're trying to hold these guys accountable. But boy, this guy, Farhan, has really sucked the life out of this fan base by reverting back to the tactics that drove us away from the yard. He drove us away from the yard with these type of moves.
Any Giants fan who's watched the team over the last 3 weeks is like, wow, Tyler Fitzgerald. Wow, this is kind of interesting. Now, I don't know what he'll end up becoming, because Brett Wisely had a great month, and now he's starting to really dip. But, like, Tyler Fitzgerald broke camp with this team and couldn't get in front of Nick Ahmed.
Yep.
Think about the sentence I just said.
And then he just hit a home run in 5 straight games. Home run in 5 straight games.
3 months trying to shove Nick Ahmed down our throats.
Well, he did beat us yesterday.
Nick Ahmed sucks.
He beat us yesterday.
He sucks. But like that, but that is what I'm talking about, right? Like, the difference between Tyler Fitzgerald and Nick Ahmed isn't that big. Yeah. And yet, instead of going with a young player, you went with some rando who played for the Diamondbacks that nobody could point out.
Well,
and there's too many of those decisions. It is entertainment. And when you give me boring interchangeable parts, I am not entertained.
It is stale, which is why you see the Warriors in the night. They're always evolving. The Warriors may not work for them. Shasky, it may not work for the Warriors, but at least they're trying. They're trying.
Swing big.
So the Niners are trying constantly to get better.
Everybody ripped Jed for Chip Kelly. And I said in real time, like, hey, this could be awesome or this could be horrific. Right. But at least it's a swing, a big swing. And he swung big. And they whiffed. And what did he do? He pivoted.
Yeah.
At least swing big, dude.
He pivoted.
Swing big.
He pivoted after 1 year and said, you know what? This is not going to work. I'll eat the money. Bye-bye. Let's roll. Let's pivot. But we're stuck in this malaise with the Giants where they're 13 games behind the Dodgers. They're a minus 32 run differential, and I don't really care about that, but it does show that their lineup is inconsistent. You have a very inconsistent lineup. You're 4-6 in your last 10. You're so far back of the wild, 5.5 back of the wild card. The Mets have leapfrogged you. The Pirates have leapfrogged you. The Nationals look better on paper. They're more entertaining. Hell, you lost the series to the Nationals, for crying out loud. It's just what will change. What change needs to happen? Well, I think to start, Alex Pavlovich said something yesterday where he's like, guys' jobs are on the line within the front office. You think that came from just left field?
No.
You think Pavs is very calculated and he's very tapped in. Spadona, if you can, Alex Pavlovich yesterday talking about the ramifications if the Giants do sell or struggle. Alex Pavlovich, NBC Sports Bay Area, the Giants insider. Go ahead and roll us, Spadona.
It's a fascinating question. I mean, they do have 4 games left. They go home 6 games under 500, 5.5 out of a playoff spot. If you're just going straight off vibes, I don't know that you could have a bigger kind of swing than watching one of the teams you're chasing throw a no-hitter and then watching Nick Ahmed go out and beat you the way he did. And not just that, but Ohtani as well, a guy you chased in the offseason. So if you're going off vibes, I think the message is there. They're going to go off of what they see in this clubhouse. And Farhan Zaidi said it a couple weeks ago on KNBR. He said, these guys will show me the way. They are 4-6 since that point. So they have not played good baseball. I think even in the wins, you don't really feel like they've ever turned a corner. So if you go off of the way they've played, they probably should be sellers. But there's a lot at stake here, not just for the guys in the clubhouse, but also the people in the front office. Potentially could be a different front office down the line if they sell and keep losing. There are some people in this organization who need to make the playoffs. So I think there's some really interesting decisions to be made until Tuesday, and we'll see what they do. If they wanted to, they could be one of the bigger sellers out there. I just haven't gotten any indication yet that they're at that point.
There are some people in this organization who need to make the playoffs. Well, who are those people? Is it Bob Melvin?
It's Farhan.
It's Farhan Zaidi.
So Fleming said basically the Orioles want a frontline starter, which is what we have been saying for weeks.
We know that.
Okay. So I'm telling you, there's 2 people I'm targeting right now, 2 teams that I'm targeting right now. I have Camilo Duvall. I have Blake Snell. I have Robbie Ray. I have Tyler Rogers. I have Taylor Rogers. I have Ryan Walker. I've got Conforto, who obviously no one wants. You're going to have to staple it. Maybe Luciano's in this mix. No, I'm just Luis Matos. Maybe he's in the mix. I am going to the Orioles and I'm going to the Yankees. And I say, all right, Yankees, I see you have a 19-year-old shortstop named Arias as your number 4 overall prospect. Okay, Orioles, your number 1 overall prospect is Jackson Holliday. What package of players do you want so I can get a shortstop of the future? Like that's where I'm at as a Giants fan. If you want to salvage the deadline for me long term, they have to find a way to come out of this deadline in the next couple of days with the shortstop of the future.
Does that save Farhan's job?
No, it's not about Farhan. It's about my team.
But does that save Farhan's job if he's able to swing a deal like that?
No,
okay.
no.
Right.
But that's what I want. You're just asking what.
Right.
Now, this guy, Arias is in low single A, but they've got Volpe at shortstop. Gunnar Henderson's the shortstop for Baltimore. Baltimore also has another guy who can play second base and outfield. Right. I think it's Norby. They've got prospects. I am taking my closer. I am taking Blake Snell, and I'm packaging up whatever I can to go get. You need a shortstop of the future. You need to have a centerpiece player. They have to find that guy desperately.
They do. They really, really do. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and AC1 San Francisco and Odyssey Sports Station, always live on the free Odyssey app. There's snooze fest right now. Let's get back to the Warriors. Right now, Niners, of course, they're going to have their 3rd day of practice. Malik Mustafa getting some looks there, back-to-back days with interceptions. Boy, Jacob Cowing making some plays.